Shalom, shalom, peace, peace, peace. Welcome to another episode of DSTM. It's your brother Amath. I acquire first name. IQ is all the same. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Yahweh, man. We got to play some catch up. I had to double up on y'all. DSTM is a little behind. The pipes is clogged up with information. So going back to back. This episode number 205. 205, man. All praises. All right. Um, but it's just so much information, man. I gotta keep flowing with the information as it's coming to me, being shown to me, being shared with me, so I can share it with the fam, man. We can kind of stay on one accord and stay on top of this thing of what's happening in the world. If you dig what I'm saying. Hopefully everybody's well, man, and you abided by the rules of the house. You know what time it is. When you came over and you knocked on that door, and I said, "Who is it? Who is it?" You say, "Kwame Yashala." I said, "Oh, okay. Come on in. Make sure you wipe your feet. Wipe your feet before you come on in here, man. Hit that like button. Hit that like button for your brother. All right. Do me that solid. We need to make sure that this algorithm is recognizing, what's going on over here. And that's all I can ask for, man. Other than that, the Most High got the rest. You dig me? So, I'm not gonna be before y'all too long, man. I got some stories, some information we're gonna run through just to keep updated. But at the same time, some things is necessary that we slow down a little bit and we analyze and we see what's really going on, man. I mean, things are moving at breakneck speed. Breakneck speed. Let me share my screen. Let me share a couple of scriptures before we begin, as per usual. All right. Um, Let me get them. Hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, let's start here. Matthew 24, and scripture in particular um, that I wanted to look at is 24 and 21 and 22. All right, so verse 21 says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be." So the timing that we're looking for and understanding these end time prophecies, man, is reciprocal to what happened in 70 AD, uh, and we're seeing it happen in real time now, as we're seeing the destruction or the imminent destruction of America, world wars, famine and pestilence, nation rising against a nation, economic collapse, all hell breaking loose, in other words. Okay. And the Lord said that these times are going to be like none other. None other. So accumulate all the wars that you've known of. You grow up in the hood and you be talking about this hood and that hood, man. We was going to war. It was crazy, man. I'm surprised I made it out alive, and praising God that I'm, 27 now. I never thought I'd make it past 16. That's nothing. That's nothing. All praises that, some of us have been in them situations and been in environments that, only the Most High brought us through for our greater purposes. All praises for that. But if you look at even the greater wars, added up: Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, the Korean War, World War One, World War Two. I mean, continue on. The Crusades. You want to keep going? I mean, what about the wars between, David and the Philistines? I mean, when you're talking about major wars all throughout the world, could not accumulate, you know, um, to the destructions that's going to be happening in these end times. Okay, verse 22 though is key. It says, "And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved." So the Most High said He's going to shorten the time, meaning what? Time is going to be accelerating at a faster pace so that it's recognized in the spirit that we are limited on time because things are moving so fast. You understand what I'm saying? So that way, when the prophecies are speeding up and you start seeing things happening back to back, and you're trying to figure out and catch up and might miss something here, might miss something there. And then you got the devil in the mix and he's swirling and spinning up the pot of deception, throwing out disinformation, utilizing AI, utilizing deep fakes, utilizing voiceover technology. He's doing everything to try to throw everything off. The agents of Satan is rolling around heavy on the internet, spewing out information of lies about here, there. The awakening of the children of Israel, man, is always some deceptive doctrine that always infiltrates its way into the community. Always got somebody thinking, in doubt. Where sound doctrine now has fled the scene, and all of a sudden now, Israel's confused on certain matters. That's all part of the end times. That's why Christ said, man, he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. It's about endurance. It's about running your race, keeping pace, making sure that you're staying focused on the end goal, which is the kingdom of heaven. The days are going to be shortened, lest no flesh be saved. Because if you leave it to the so-called white man, he will destroy everything and anyone in his way to try to maintain his dirty grasp on this world. He's digging in them dirty, nasty fingernails all into everybody, into the earth, everything. He's not letting go. He would rather destroy everything and everyone before he says, you know what, I concede. I'm ready to submit to the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and to his children. And I'm going to step aside, and acknowledge my failures and acknowledge myself as being the wicked of the earth. And I'm ready for my punishment and my judgment. You think he's going to do that? You know dang well he's not going to do that. He'd rather go through hell and high water to try to remain in steadfast in the end. I mean, the scriptures tell you he's going to try to put up a fight. But the Lord said that the time has to be shortened for the elect's sake, that these days might be shortened. So as the elect is becoming sealed in the word of the Lord, in repentance and in faith, keeping the laws, the time will be shortened as we continue to gather the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Look at this right here. Revelation 12. We're just going to read verse 7. It says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels. So what it's talking about when it says war in heaven, it's talking about here on earth. Heaven on earth, okay? When we say the Our Father prayer, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, that's what is being understood and acknowledged. This kingdom that we're in right now is the kingdom that is going to be the inheritance of the children of Israel. Okay? Our heaven is going to be right here on earth. It's not going to be about traveling into the third heaven, sitting up with the Most High, acting as if, we're all going to be holding hands, dealing with the pearly gates. That's not going down. So when we're seeing the war that was going on in heaven, it's talking about the heaven right here. Okay. And it's letting it be known that Michael and the angels are going to be at war with who? The dragon. The dragon is Esau. That red dragon. We're going to Revelation 12 another day, but understand and know when you're reading about a great red dragon, this one right here, when you're looking at verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. This red dragon is speaking about the empires of the so-called white man and the system of the beast. The 7 crowns are his 7 kingdoms, his 7 rulership kingdoms that he's had. The Greeks, the Romans, the French, the German, the Russian, the Spanish, the uh, Great Britain, which is the 7th. And out of Great Britain comes America, which is speaking of as a little horn that you can read in Daniel, the 7th chapter. That comes out of the 4th beast. And the 4th beast is Rome. Okay. And all the 10 head, I mean, and the crowns are representing the rulerships that he had as ruling dominions. And the well, I mean that's all we need to know about that. Okay, so the red dragon is a so-called white man and his 7 rulership kingdoms throughout history. Now, notice it said here that dragon is going to try to engage in war with Michael and the angels. And the dragon's going to be fighting against the angels of the Lord. White man's going to be trying to fight to the bitter end. He's not going to be trying to give it up. Okay? He ain't going to try to, he's not giving it up. See? Look at this. In Matthew 11 and verse 12. It says, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent taketh by force. Well, it's not talking about some battle and some fight that's going on in the third heaven between Satan and the Most. No, he's talking about the kingdom on earth that's suffering violence. Remember, even Christ told us the kingdom is within us. So here we are on earth. The manifestation of the kingdom is now suffering violence, and the violence is taken it by force. Well, who was the one that was taking it by force? Well, leave it to the Romans, the persecutions that the Jews was going through. 70 AD, the destruction of the temple, the Archetitus. You can see that in archaeology, where they raided the temple, took the holy vessels out, destroyed it, and profaned the temple, put the Jews in captivity. Over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution, Roman persecution and slavery under General Titus. And that comes through, as a book reference from Babylon and Timbuktu, which is one. But there's plenty of other references. Even later on in history, our people fleeing into Portugal and Spain, dealing with the Spanish Inquisition, getting booted out of there, and then fleeing into the interiors of West Africa as well. So our kingdom has been suffering violence, and the violence have taken it by force. So this is everything that's going on at this particular time right now. I'm going off into a whole other lesson. That's how the spirit moves. That's how the spirit moves, right? I'm just moving in the spirit. But as we're seeing here, getting back into understanding the times that we're in, everything is happening at breakneck speed. And even for myself, it's hard to keep up with things. And sometimes I just gotta turn down the noise a little bit and decompress, man, and unplug, because it becomes overwhelming. It becomes overwhelming sometimes. So let's look at one more. I was looking at another scripture earlier, Proverbs. And Proverbs 21 and 12 says, the righteous man wisely considereth the house of the wicked, but the Most High overthroweth the wicked for their wickedness. So it says a righteous man is going to consider the house of the wicked. So we should be looking in his windows. We should be looking into his cars and making sure and trying to say, well, what's the wicked up to, man? We can't sit back and be ignorant. The scriptures let us know that. Ignorance is not an excuse to sit back and say, well, I didn't know. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is not a reason for excuse in the eyes of the Lord. Let's look at this in Ecclesiastes 5 verse 15. It says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. So the Most High said, ignorance is not an excuse. We're supposed to be trying to figure out any matters that concern us, our people, your household, your families, you yourself, if you're single, as it pertains to your nation, your people. The Lord said, man, don't be ignorant about the things that's going on in the world. Just run around with blinders on, man, your shades on, your earplugs in, and you saying, I don't want to be affected. I don't want to know. You're going to get swept away. The Lord said it's not okay to sit back and say, I don't know. No, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small, right? So we have to know. The righteous man wisely considereth the house of the wicked. So we need to be wisely considering what's up with this wicked man. What's up with the so-called white man? We know that Job 9:24 says that the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. So we have to figure out, well, what's going on in the earth, because the wicked is in here controlling it. This is his house. We're in it. Granted, we're, bound and gagged in the basement, being held captive, but we're trying to figure out how to get out. And the Bible told us how to get out. Repent, keep the faith of Christ, fear the Lord, fear the Most High, and we'll find our way out. You understand? So let's get to these articles. I don't want to be before y'all too long. All right. So just updating on the war. Okay. Biden and Yoon. Notice now, you see all of these particular world leaders, man, they all having their own private meetings and councils. They're all meeting up. Kim Jong-un has been flying all over the place. He's gone from Russia. He went over to France. He went down to Brazil. He's over here shaking hands, kissing babies, right? Putin made his rounds. He went over to China. He's been over there. I believe he went to Turkey. He's all over the place, right? So now the South Korean president, she came over here. She met up with Mike McCarthy, the House Speaker for the Republicans and the government. Now South Korea's president, he then came over here. Now he's meeting up with Slow Biden now. So if you notice, remember, I've been saying this for the longest. You see that all the nations are picking their sides, creating their bonds and allies, letting it be known and putting it on record where each one stands at. So when the ultimate showdown and confrontation is commencing, we know who's at war, what parties are involved, and we can understand and connect it with the scriptures. So there's no wonder why all these world leaders now are running around meeting everywhere and having private councils, chopping it up about what's next. Are you with me or against me? Okay, you see all the Middle East leaders. That peace deal that was brokered by China between Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Syria. All that they're coming together. You understand? And picking their sides. Taiwan, Taiwan. I said South Korea. Taiwan's president came over here and met with Mike McCarthy. South Korea's president is meeting with Slow Biden. So this is what's going on in the earth. All the world leaders, they're all coming together. Similar to like the scriptures say in Psalms 83. See, Psalms 83:2, reading down. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They're no strangers to having crafty council meetings, consultations with each other. I mean, they did it against us for centuries now, and they're continuing to do so. The only difference is now, they have to be more wise with how and what they put out there. That's why they have, Mockingbird Media out there that's willing to tiptoe, they got to walk a certain line in regards to what they can and can't say. They got narratives that they got to put out there. They got imagery that they're trying to promote. They've got agendas that they have to stick to. If you notice, they've been firing, some of these talking heads on TV of late. Some have been kicking up some dust. Tucker Carlson over there at Fox, he was kicking up dust. Really, really rebelling against his masters and his handlers. And they said enough is enough, man. Get up out of here. We'll pay you to leave. Don Lemon, that's out of my. He finally got chopped out the game. Whoever he pissed off or whatever line he wasn't supposed to cross, he crossed or refused to. Who knows? There's been a couple other ones too, man, that ain't got their heads chopped off. The one who stirred up the pot the most when it came down to Israelite dysfunction, Jerry Springer, he done gave up the ghost, all praises. That devil, he was, made a fortune off of promoting the dysfunction of the children of Israel, exploiting our people, and our dumb, goofy butts are going up there, man, showing our teeth, doing all kind of folly for some attention on TV, And some of that stuff, I'm sure, was staged and fake and scripted type stuff, man. Jerry Springer's got some outrageous stuff going on. It's hard to believe a lot of that stuff was real. But, our people's willing to do something strange for some change at any particular point in time, So the media house is collapsing. But you see the leaders are out there trying to take crafty counsel, meeting with each other so that they can come up with new plans on how to make the next moves towards war, the economy, world domination and control, new world order type stuff. You dig? So look at this. Biden Yoon warned North Korea on nukes, unveiled a deterrence plan. They're putting out threats to North Korea, letting it be known if they take off with nukes. Biden is even talking about, man, he's going to take out, he's going to wipe people off the map damn near. If anybody, if North Korea tried to threaten or went nuclear, he said it's going to be the end of that regime. Look at it. President Joe Biden and South Korea's Yoon Suk Yeol. Good Lord. Pause, as the youngsters say. Unveil a new plan Wednesday to counter North Korea's nuclear threat, with the U.S. leader issuing a blunt warning that such an attack would result in the end of whatever regime took such action. See, that's the vanity of the so-called white man. He feels as though he can take out anybody or any regime or anybody that speaks up and comes against America or its allies. He will wipe them off the map. Well, that's pretty bold. But guess what? He's willing to stand on it. Look no further than the atomic bombs, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, to test the so-called white man and whether or not he will push the panic button. He's done it before. He'll do it again. See, the new nuclear deterrence effort calls for periodically docking U.S. nuclear-armed submarines in South Korea for the first time in decades. So now Joe Biden has made the military decision and gave the okay to dock U.S. nuclear-armed submarines in South Korea. First time they've done it in decades. So now he's shoring up the defenses of South Korea with nuclear-armed submarines and basically telling Kim Jong-un, you keep talking nukes, we got some over here, and we'll blow your little ass out the water. Play around if you want to. Joe Biden is so gone in the head, he might just wake up and be like, oh, launch the codes, get the nukes. Kim Jong-un called me last night and said he's going to launch an attack tomorrow. You know, who knows what this deranged dude will do? Dementia, everything else kicking in. Who knows? But the threat is there. Okay, so this is the deterrence plan: is for them to set up a few nuclear armed subs over in South Korea and letting it be known that they will end whatever regime wants to take action against, one of their hoes or one of their, no, but America's the great whore. Let's be clear. One of their Johns or one of their tricks. All right. The declaration was unveiled as Biden hosted Yoon for a state visit at a moment of heightened anxiety over an increased pace of ballistic missile tests by North Korea. All right, so here we go. Let's continue on. Russia warns against the risk of nuclear confrontation with the U.S. is growing. So, Russia is not forgot about the U.S. Matter of fact, man, Putin, I was about to say went live, but he had a live, I guess a State of the Union or something, whatever they would consider it in Russia. And he even said, man, we just getting started. Like, what's going on over there? And I've been saying that. He's basically playing games with, he's not even really going hard against Ukraine. We brought out all the examples. He's got, nuclear subs in various parts of the world. He got thousands of troops all over the place that he ain't even dispatched yet. He's going light on the situation. And he let it be known. He said, look, we ain't even started yet. When I really turn up, you're going to know. As he threatened the West and threatened NATO and said, look, man, y'all are coming against me. You're pretty much declaring and helping me understand where we stand at as far as where this war needs to go. So look at this. Risks of a direct military confrontation between the two nuclear powers, Russia and the United States, are steadily growing. The TASS news agency quoted a senior Russian diplomat as saying on Tuesday, Vladimir Yermakov, the foreign ministry's head of nuclear nonproliferation, told the Russian state news agency that Washington is escalating the risk through its conduct with Moscow. Since the start of its invasion on Ukraine 14 months ago, Moscow has issued regular charges against the U.S. and what it calls, quote, the collective West, for raising the risk of nuclear war rhetoric intended to deter Kiev's allies. Who's the collective West? Well, the collective West is NATO and all of its allies. This is the collective Western front that America has aligned itself with. We just seen last week, NATO's given the okay for Ukraine to join NATO. It's going to take a little bit time for everything to become official, but they've already gave them the head nod. America's ran down and shook down all the other nations and said, look, get with it, because we need to continue this war. We need to get Russia out of here. And China's next. See, we know that they've already admitted now there's troops on the ground over there. The war has already started. If the United States continues to follow its current course of confrontation with Russia, with the states constantly escalating on the verge of sliding into direct armed conflict, then the fate of START, which is the nuclear arms treaty, may be for a foregone conclusion. But look what's happening to America, man. Military recruitment lapses lead to challenges to national security. They're having trouble getting recruits. America's military is starting to weaken. Everybody's not trying to be all they can be. Remember that? They're knocking on the door, talking about be all you can be. Uncle Sam wants you. People are turning it down. They're talking about in basic training, man. The average dude can't get through it. Everybody's overweight, out of shape, all jacked up. Addicted to video games, hot pockets, and top ramen, and eating McDonald's, eating crap, and next thing you know, they figuring, well, I ain't got nothing else going on in my life. Let me go join the army. They get in there, man. They can't pass a drug test. They're strung out on weed, fentanyl, popping pills, pop bellies, trying to run down on the basic trade. Can't do it. Lack of recruitments. See, but the flip side of that is when the ish hits the fan, they're just going to go for the draft. They're going to say, you come or else. See, but they're having lapses in recruitment. So it's only showing you that America's military force is starting to weaken even more. Okay. Look at this. Slow Biden's up to again. Yeah, he needs to hold his mouth. Ex-acting CIA director reveals he had 50 spies. Notice we've been talking about spies a lot lately, right? The spy games has been going on heavy, cloak and dagger type stuff happening. From the spy balloons to recorded conversations to the firing of media heads, all this is going on. We've been talking about spies of late. Now, this guy's an ex-CIA director, Mike Morrell. Notice it now that he's off the payroll, he can speak candidly. He said he had 50 spies sign a letter saying Hunter Biden laptop scandal was Russian disinformation to help, HELP, all caps, Joe win the president's election. Wow. I mean, is there any motion to investigate this for impeachment? Can we get rid of his old ass? No. There's so many people, man. Slow Biden has been a career politician for damn near 50 years. You know how many secrets this dude knows? You know how many pockets he done lined up, how many relationships that he has, how many people he's got manipulated, let alone his handlers, because he ain't nothing but a puppet, really. But he's given access to all the information that can crush a lot of people. So a lot of people got to back off. Look at Trump. Everything Orange Bang, Donald Trump, everything he was saying was all real and true. He's talking about people got to be careful about that because they, and this is what I'm talking about. You can't even talk about somebody doing a 211 on the election. I had to master. And if you don't know what a 211 is, go look up a criminal code for crimes. Yeah, you know what? Some of y'all ain't gonna do it. You're gonna be like, "What is he talking about? 211s?" You see that? It's California Penal Code 211. It's what? About okay. So when I say that about the election, know what I'm talking about. Because YouTube will tap me on the shoulder and say, you can't say that. You get flagged. Lord willing, they don't try to do it when I'm speaking on this. But guess what? The information is coming out saying this. This information was used to help Slow Biden sit on the throne. And it's all on the laptop, including these pictures of his son down here, videos of him smoking crack naked, videos of him, and his sexual exploits with escorts and other felonious activity going on. Financial records, from him ciphering off money for access to his daddy from other nations, including China, including the Ukraine. A lot of real nefarious activity going on with the Bidens. You talking about dysfunctional, or these are white collar niggas. White collar niggas, that's what they are. Because you got all kind of dysfunction going on in there, man. When we mentioned about a nigga, we talking about the scriptures speak about a niggard being lazy, and one that doesn't care for. Let me get that up. See. See, look at this. Sirach 31:24 says, "But against him that is a niggard of his meat, the whole city shall murmur." So it's saying against him that is a niggard, the whole city is going to start talking. When it comes down to his meat, his substance, everything that he's got and he's accumulated, what he's, amassing, the whole city's going to be wondering, well, how did he get it? What's going on? And the testimonies of his niggardness shall not be doubted of. Why is he saying that? Why is it going to be questioned? Why are people going to be, subjecting themselves saying, we know this nigga. How did he get this stuff? Because what? Riches are not comely for a nigger. And what shall an envious man do with money? Well, why are riches not comely for a nigger? Because a nigger is going to be one who's going to be who doesn't work hard or show value for the riches. He's working off of envy. He's working off of hate, deception. So this is all that's talking about. So when I say these are white collar niggas, man, that's slow Biden. You talking about a family of corruption, man. Just imagine, the cursed Negro or Hispanic household. Everything that we go through, man. From divided homes, dysfunctional brother and sister relationships, single parent homes, drug abuse, criminal records. I mean, he damn near got everything else going on. Although him and his wife Jill, they still married. But hey, look, he done had scandals with his daughter. I showed y'all the picture when I think she had a little swimsuit on or something when she was a youth, and he was sitting there looking like he had fangs and drooling at her, looking at her. I don't even want to go there because you know how that goes. You see Uncle Joe with all of his little creepy videos, man, of him hugging up on these little kids and whispering in their ears and talking about how they, sit on his knee and he be, you know how that go. You got that creepy uncle in the family. That's him. He's got one son that done died. How many black families done experienced one of their kids dying before the parents die? Be it through the streets, drug abuse, whatever. He got another son, Hunter Biden, man. Lazy as hell. They ain't had a job. The only thing given to him is given to him by his daddy. Dope fiend. Married his brother's wife after she died. I mean, just all kinds of dysfunction going on, man. Why am I going on a tangent about this guy? Man? I just can't stand slow Biden. That's all. And then every time he gets exposed, and he's got all these lapdog talking heads on TV, man, that will swear he's the next thing. He's the best thing since sliced bread. He can do no wrong. I mean, he's falling up the stairs, falling off of bikes, getting lost on stage, can't find his way back into the White House. You understand what I'm saying? Lie after lie after lie. And now we're seeing here that laptop that they've been trying to hide and been trying to, swore it off as, oh, man, whatever's on there, man, it's just Russian. The Russians is talking about this laptop thing, man. They made that up. This cat had 50 spies signing letters to co-sign that lie. The old, notice when Elon Musk got a hold of Twitter, all the Twitter admitted that they, all the Twitter heads and the heads of Twitter and all that said that they was told to promote that. Mark Zuckerberg went on record and said, yeah, FBI hit me up and told me, shut down anybody that's talking about a 211 or the election. Shut down anybody that says that, if anybody's saying that there's some corruption going on, make sure you let it be known as Russian disinformation, man. Put them in Facebook jail. Do that for us. Zuckerberg said, yes, sir. So now the truth is starting to come out, man. This is why they were so scared of them, of them Republicans, man, getting in that office, because they was like, man, we're going to let loose. We're going to dig up all the dirt and put it out there. And now we're starting to see a lot of truths come out, from the health scare to the solution to the health scare that you put in your arm, to the laptop, to the economy. All kind of stuff is coming out now. So we see here, even using spies, man, to cover up. Now, if any of you missed Thursday's lesson, the replay that I did of the Scrabble gang and a look into America's war on gender, you need to go back and go check that out. You need to go back and check it out. I did that a couple years ago. We'd have had one or two channels that then got canceled, and the lesson got lost. I thought we had it uploaded on the new channel, this one right here, but I didn't. So that's why I replayed it, and it's even more fitting now because it's more. It's even more apparent of the agenda that's going on. So like I said, that was a couple years ago, and now look what we're seeing here. I talked about the BPA, did I not? But now look at what they're saying. U.S. experts are calling for a crackdown on gender bending. That was all conspiracy. Oh, that was all crazy talk years ago. Oh, he talking about chemicals that can change your gender. What are you talking about? That's BS, man. That's conspiracy. Oh, you're blowing it up. You're just hateful. You just don't like people who love each other. What? Can we get a retraction and an apology? Huh? Now you got experts running around here saying this is out of control. The mad scientists who were out here flipping genders, tampering with and contaminating waters and supplies, looking and glorying in their results. This has to stop. Now, U.S. experts are calling for a crackdown on gender-bending chemicals found in food. Oh, really? Oh, now you want to talk about it. These are the other everyday items that are loaded with toxins. Hello? What did I say in the lesson? They're in everything. And I had to retract. I said, oh, no, I ain't gonna say everything because you know how niggas is. He said everything, and it ain't in everything. He's lying. They just can't wait to just try to, find some little loophole, but never address the facts and the truth and the understanding that's getting put out there. Just go on emotional rants rather than addressing the information. They don't want to do that. So here we go. Bisphenol A, BPA. Talked about it already. If you didn't see the lesson, go back and watch it. You're doing yourself a disservice. Share it with whoever you think may need to hear it. Promote it on your page, whatever you got. Because otherwise, one of the agendas was compulsory education. That means that you are going to be forced to allow the education of your oppressors to teach your children and to teach the youth and the teens and whoever else and the dumbed down middle 18 to 34-year-olds who don't know no better but to just follow. You're going to allow them to educate. You're going to allow the oppressor to educate them, and then they're going to be sitting back saying, yo, what's wrong with that? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't know what gender I am. And matter of fact, I don't know what I am anymore. You allow that confusion to go on? Okay. So as I made mention, so BPA is an industrial chemical used in the production of plastics and epoxy resins. Despite the health risks such as infertility and certain types of cancers, it is relatively common in everyday products, okay, including canned foods, plastic food storage containers, some plastic water bottles, store receipts, store receipts, canned beer, canned beer. You know, I'm just like love some canned beer and boxed wine, sunglasses and lenses. European officials drastically reduced the maximum amount of BPA by 20,000 times after finding out that millions of people are likely consuming too much of the dangerous chemical, further widening the gap between what the EU considers acceptable versus the US Food and Drug Administration. So if you see here, Europe is trying to put a pause on it. Europe is starting to examine and say, well, guess what? This thing is getting out of control. But what's the FDA doing? What's the US Food and Drug Administration doing? They're saying, let the good times roll. They're not trying to stop it. They're pushing hardcore on the agenda. Matthew Cassell, director of environmental campaigns at the Public Interest Research Group, told the Daily Mail the FDA should take stronger steps to reduce our exposure to BPA in popular household products. He said the FDA should take stronger steps, but are they? No. Look at this. Everyday products where BPA is lurking, canned goods, food containers, seed storage containers, bottled water. And you got to go to the bottled water because you ain't going to drink out the faucet, are you? See how they flip it and make you go into these particular routes? One way or the other, we're gonna poison you. Turn on that faucet, drink it if you want to. You're gonna have all kind of things up in there, from fluoride to metals and toxins to infertility drugs to everything else that's going on. The poison water that's good. You seen Bill Gates say, "Well, I've got a solution. We can recycle poop and manure and turn it into water. Want that water?" And he said, "Well, nah, you know what? I'm gonna go get this sparklers, this Arrowhead, this Dasani, this uh Fiji." Meanwhile, the bottle is laced. Catch 22, scandalous. Store receipts, beer, wine. These are all just examples of what it is. The food containers. That's why I said, if you get them, get bottles that, or get, if you can, find the bottles that are BPA free. Find the storage containers that are BPA free. Matter of fact, if you can, just get the glass food storage containers. Okay. I mean, they're getting us in all different angles, man. Don't let me even talk about, uh, you know, paper and plastic, paper plate, plastic plates, and all that other stuff, styrofoam plate, heating up in the microwave. I mean, all of that stuff is destroying us. They say that the average person has almost like a credit card worth of plastics in us, just from environmental, consuming of foods and the things that's out there. Uh, See, look at this. You eat a credit card's worth of plastic a week. A research says. Let me see if I can find it. I better. See. And it's from CNN. This from CNN. We consume up to a credit card's worth of plastic every week. See, I don't even want to go there, man, because this is why I said I be having to unplug and back away. There's some stuff I don't even tell y'all because some of y'all won't come back. That's how deep we are in this thing. See, the plastic you are unwittingly eating and breathing is in the form of microplastic, tiny amounts of the substance that shed off in our everyday products. This is why the white man is a devil, man. Hell bent on population control, destroying us, profiteering off of big pharma, hospital beds, you name it. You know, it's all industry, man. It's all a big cycle of how the money gets filtered in and running through. You seen how they got the whole thing with the trans folks, how they've got doctors that's already out there profiteering off of them, putting them on lifelong drugs for hormones. That's automatic money. I'm always going to have you as a patient. You're not going anywhere. I'm getting paid every time you come up in here, and I'm telling you how often you need to get up in here. Big Pharma saying keep them in there because we're working together. Keep them stuck on the drug. It's a money racket as they're out here destroying the whole culture of what it means to be a man or a woman. All in the name of money, greed, medical experimentation, lust. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's wild. It's wild, man. Let me get back over here. Moving back to this. I mean, you seen it on Thursday. What was one of the other objectives? To change the dynamic of the household. They wanted to promote infertility and contraceptions for male and females. And mind you, that was a document from the 60s, the Jaffe memo. Now we're seeing it in 2023. They are making way to be able to say, well, we've got a potential breakthrough on male birth control now. Oh, so you sisters, man, you ain't got to worry about getting the patch, getting on the pill the morning after. You know, brothers, oh, you ain't got to go get your vasectomy. We got male birth control now. We'll find one way or another to cut the seed off. That the seed of Israel may be no more in remembrance. You understand? That's what's going on. Potential breakthrough for male birth control pill as scientists discover a gene that can temporarily switch off sperm. Washington State University team found gene during a study on rodents. Blocking or deactivating it with drugs leads to a reduced sperm count, but simply stopping the medication would allow the gene to reactivate. Do you see that? Simply stopping the medication would allow the gene to reactivate. So what do? You have to stay on it. Oh yeah, baby daddy that got, 3 baby mamas and 6 kids. And he's saying, man, I can't, I don't need no more. I don't want no more. Okay, well, guess what? White man comes up and says, we got a new drug for you. We can shut you down. Don't worry. But you can't stop taking this because your gene will reactivate, man. The seed they get the swarming back around. And you don't like strapping up. You like going raw, don't you? Brother say, yeah, man, yeah. I don't want to get too graphic. Yeah, y'all know. But they create these avenues so that they can continue on with the big pharma scandals, the medical experimentation on our people, man. And the focus is always Israel, man. It's always on us. The nation's gonna catch some of the backlash too. Sometimes they're the first on the platter to get chopped off. Because Jake is always kind of skeptical at first. But once they start seeing their oppressors doing, that's why the Most High said, man, envy not their oppressor and choose none of his ways. Once they see them start doing it, the floodgates start going in, man. Niggas in Spanish riding all up in there. I want my pills, man. Shoot. I don't need no more kids. I don't want no more kids. And that's how it works. Look at this creature. Woo! And this dude was talking big stuff. You see the video. I mean, if you have seen the video. If you haven't, obviously he's on TikTok. But there's you probably can find him on YouTube now. But there's no stopping these individuals. I'm gonna be nice. No stopping them because they've been granted power, authority, and entitlement by the government and the so-called white man in the spirit of Sodom. They can carry out mass shootings. They can get caught plotting mass shootings. They can riot in the streets. They can, dress up, read to your kids, teach them how to twerk, running around in gay bars where kids are allowed in, running around with thongs on, barely dressed. They can do all of that stuff. Now, this dude right here, he said, transgender activist warns women who try to stop her using their bathroom that it will be the last mistake you will ever make in a chilling video urging LGBTQ people to buy guns. Now, can you imagine if that was a Jake? This is an Israelite. Just imagine. This is an Israelite man, brother making a video. He got a phylactery on here, or he got a mitri on, because you just see the double chin and the headshot of this, this thing over here. But imagine brother talking about, man, if you try to stop me from reading my Bible, blah 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 blah, we need to arm up, and it's gonna be the last mistake anybody ever makes. You come against us, it's war, blah blah. And that dude will be canceled, arrested, and thrown to the deepest depths of some jail faster than you can spell it. And this dude, to my knowledge, has been granted permission by the owners of TikTok. Social media is like they allowing this to be spread. This is a man who is identifying as a woman. A man is threatening women with violence. Only in America will this not be considered misogynistic or domestic abuse, verbal abuse. When else can a man? I mean, I can't go to a female's bathroom and just walk in and say, you know what? I identify as a woman. I dare you to tell me I can't go up in here with y'all. And I'm standing up, pissing, and everything else. Matter of fact, I'm walking in my drawers. Who's gonna tell me I'm wrong? I mean, that's the insanity that they realistic. You can say you're gonna do. And then if any female says, "Hey, get out of here! What are you doing? You're not allowed in here. This is for women only." And I've got it right now to say, who are you to tell me I'm not a woman? I can be in here if I want to. I identify as one. This is the reverse engineered psychological mental illness that these people are up to. And then threaten them with violence. If a female says, I'm not comfortable with you in here, please get out, leave. This is for biological women only. He's threatening, saying, you ain't gonna stop me from coming up in there. Man, that's down there rape. Verbal rape. Let's put it that way. Not physical, but you're threatening them that you're going to invade their privacy. You're going to impose on a woman's discreet activities in the bathroom. You're imposing, you coming up in there regardless of what they want to do. I mean, that's forcible. How is that not considered a form of like verbal abuse and rape or something? Huh? And he's an activist. And he's out there promoting to his gang, the Scrabble gang, hey, let's get active. Strap up. Because we coming in them bathrooms. We're going in the locker rooms. I told y'all that story about the what university was it? Hold on. There was a sorority. I want to say in oh man, where was it? It's a sorority, I think, and I ain't gonna look it up right now, But there was a sorority in one of these colleges, man. They had to make a formal complaint because they had a trans uh former up in there. And they told me it was discrimination if you didn't allow him in there. And it said the dude was running around there with an erection all the time amongst the females. And it was like, this is out of control. He's got to go. Why is this allowed? We don't feel safe in here. How you spell sorority? Uh, see, look at this. See this, so I ain't bring this out because I'm be looking at all this stuff and I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Wyoming lawsuit against University of Wyoming sorority alleges trans women watch female members with visible erection. Hello, I mean, but according to the lawsuit, the trans woman sorority member is sexually interested in women. Yeah, tell me something we don't know. He's running around with, All right, I'm gonna leave it alone. Y'all know they out here playing games. This guy's in here talking about I'm coming in that bathroom. Transgender activist warns women who try to stop her using the bathroom that it will be the last mistake you ever make. In a chilling video urging LGBTQ HIV people to buy guns. Transgender activist Tara J posted a clip on TikTok threatening anyone who tries to stop her from using female restrooms. Jay told her 2,400 followers that it would be the last mistake you'll ever make and went on to urge others to purchase guns, saying, "This is a call to arms." Oh, so they did delete it. Oh, I missed that part. Jay's clip, now deleted, was posted after the March 27 murder of 6 people by a transgender woman at a Nashville Christian school. So this is after the shooting, after the mass shooting. They come out there and say, "We want more blood. It's on now. The war started. Let's get cracking." See, but what I meant to was acknowledge TikTok may have deleted the clip, but all other social media outlets are still allowing this to float around. People have already been sharing it. It's already viral. So Tara J is out here calling for war, man. Over not being able to come in, over threatening women that he's gonna barge in on the bathroom. Unreal. Look at it. Toronto mom says she saves hundreds of dollars a month by feeding her 18-month-old baby crickets instead of meat as a source of protein, and now plans to add ants, grasshoppers, and worms to her daughter's diet. This is part of the compulsory education. This is part of the transforming and in the promotion of Esau trying to control diet. Now, don't get me wrong. The Most High says that there are clean insects that we can eat and not eat, right? So I'm not saying that this is wrong lawfully. What I'm saying is that they're trying to force this as the mandatory diet, as opposed to you having a freedom to choose your lawful diet. Because once they put everybody on this digitized, social credit score based digital dollar, where they can control your spending, what you can and can't buy, your carbon credit, your carbon footprint, how much consumption you're partaking in, all of all those things. This is what your credit is only going to be good to buy, specifics. Remember in Idaho, it was either Idaho or Iowa, one of the two, where they tried to impose on the spending credits of the SNAP and EBT recipients, and was telling them that they couldn't buy meat no more. They could only buy certain canned goods. Rice was out the picture. They basically were going to frame their diet based around their SNAP and EBT benefits. And people started complaining about that before they signed it into office. They said, we moved too fast. Back up off of it. Slow down. We'll hit them back. We'll hit them back later. See, that's what the digital ID is going to be about. That's what the Fednow and all these other. We're going to see. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I'm gonna pick up the pace a little bit because I've been ranting, but this is where everything is headed. So they start slowly but surely start implementing these little oh, it's good for you. Oh, look at my 18-month-old daughter. She's been on they're gonna start promoting this woman and her son, I mean her daughter. They're gonna be on TV trying to tell everybody, oh, how great it is. And then just like they can convince and conform the minds of people saying it's okay to say you don't know if you're a man or a woman. It's okay to say, you're polyamorous and you can have open marriages and date men and women and all of y'all can live happily under one roof. And you can be a dog if you want to. And they just gonna use media manipulation, man. They just gonna get into people's heads. The dumbed down sheeple is just gonna sit back and follow whatever the trend says. Celebrities are being recruited now to promote, you know, the agenda. Y'all know. So now all they need is, they've already had some celebrities even promoting this diet. And I did a lesson on that too about death on the plate. I'm pretty sure that one's on the channel. That one I did a couple years ago too. Go check that one out. If it ain't on there, I'll re-upload it. But all this is on here. I talked about. Tiffany Lake said it's cheaper. It's cheaper way to provide our daughter with protein. Yeah, it's going to be cheaper because guess what? When the universal basic income comes into play and you're limited with your carbon credits for how much you can and can't buy, guess what? You're going to have to budget in a new source of protein, as they say. The Canada native mixes crickets into mac and cheese and a pancake mix and cricket puffs. I mean, good Lord. See, this is what I'm saying. Celebrities. Kiki Palmer reveals she's never felt straight enough or gay enough in a candid discussion about gender and sexuality, as she says she felt forced into a box while growing up. Oh, all of a sudden now, or now that it's cool to be in the Scrabble game, But this is just propaganda. The woman, the girl just had she's a woman now. I'll be respectful. She just had a baby. She's in a relationship with a man. What is she talking about now? All of a sudden, she doesn't. She's felt bit. She's in a box, and she's never straight enough. Y'all don't know who Kiki Palmer is. Let me help you out. Some of y'all might be saying, "Who's that?" She's a little child star. Now she grown. She was in uh up. No, what's the name of that movie? Um, Nope. She's in Nope. She's in a couple other movies. And what's going on with my computer? Come on now. All right here. Kiki Palmer. I'm sure y'all may have seen her before. You know, from the looks of her dress, she apparently knows that she's a female. I mean, come on, let's knock it off. She's trying to dress sexy and provocative. Trying to embrace her womanhood. I mean, I don't see nothing on here that would show any other thing besides her trying to be feminine or ultra feminine. Look, where do we see anything else where she seems to be confused, where she's dressed up as a man, or doesn't know what gender she wants to be, or what sexual orientation she's attracted to? I mean, what are we talking about here? But all of a sudden now she's got a voice and she wants to speak out about, she's never felt straight enough or gay enough. She doesn't know what she is now. That's all promotion. That's all lining her pockets up. I mean, hold on. See, here she is. She's pregnant. She was just pregnant, but she don't know. But what are we talking about? There she go with her husband. If that's her husband, that could be a data picture. I don't know who her husband is. To be honest with you, but she's got a number of different pictures with this same cat. So I'm assuming that's him. Yeah, here you go. See, but all of a sudden now she don't know what's going on. That's not, Tell that to him. Do you think you think he's ever been confused of whether or not you don't know what you want? Come on, man. But this is how these celebrities, man. They accept payments and cash outs and get used as propaganda tools to promote an agenda. She ain't the first one. There's plenty of them out there. Will Smith's sons running around acting confused. Dwayne Wade done sacrificed his son. Notice all of a sudden after he gave up his son, now he done transitioned from basketball. He's on. Uh, I've been seeing he got some game show now he's hosting and maintaining his little spotlight. Got his little Hollywood celebrity sellout witch for a wife, Gabrielle Union, who uh, she says she was justified in cheating and all. I mean, all kind of crazy stuff that woman is up to. I think she said she cheated on her partners in the past. She was justified on it, and all kind of foolishness, man. Shit that the woman is up to. All of a sudden, Dwayne Wade, he's commentating, basketball games. You got, all kind of other little ventures going on, investment ventures. He's got game show hosts now. Can't get rid of the nigga. But these are the type of rewards that come along with the sacrifices, man. I mean, scriptures say that our people would sacrifice their sons and daughters. Uh, Baal. See? Psalms 104:37. Yea, they sacrifice their sons and their daughters unto devils. And shed innocent blood, even the blood of the sons and the daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Our people was doing real live child sacrifices back in the days in complete wickedness, following after the ways and the idols of Canaan and the heathen. But in today's terms in the spirit, man, they out here sacrificing their sons and daughters, man, all for fame. You get these parents, man, that are ushering their children into the entertainment industry, where there's nothing but a bunch of pedophiles and predators on there, man, taking advantage of these kids. The deep dark secrets that go on in that industry, man, everybody's heard about it, known about it. Now they're out here sacrificing their kids, promoting and telling them they need to go push this agenda. And you know what I'm talking about. Let me get up off of that topic, man, before YouTube comes in here and says, shut him up. Because you know how they play. But it's definitely some real madness going on. All right, let's continue. Look at this. Biden to parents. Your children are not your children. They belong to the government. And I think I remember Hillary Clinton trying to say the same thing. She's talking about, it's trying to use it. It takes a village to raise a child, But the way that they do it is it's all about the government now. It's become daddy. Look at it today. And today, Biden stayed on message. There is, quote, there is no such thing as someone else's child. No such thing as someone else's child. Our nation's children are all our children. Biden said as he honored the 2023 Teacher of the Year in the White House Rose Garden. So look, he's saying that all the children belong to them. They're all our children. So again, compulsory education, that's just part of the plan. And it's coming out the mouth of the damn dragon. Boy Scouts of America will begin to release $2.4 billion to the Survivors Trust to over 80,000. I mean, they're rivaling the Catholic Church at that point. Actually, no, the Catholic Church probably got them by, who knows, double that. But look at the payout though, $2.4 billion. They got to pay the Boy Scout survivors. Survivors. They dragged that R. Kelly, rightfully so, for if he's guilty or whatever. I know I know R. Kelly did some dirt. So whatever the judgment is, that's the most High got him sitting where he's sitting at. Let's leave it at that. But Esau had no problem profiteering. The sisters had no problem profiteering off of surviving R. Kelly. I mean, when are we gonna do the special about surviving the Boy Scouts? Huh? Surviving the Catholic Church. Where is that at? No documentaries about that yet, huh? Oh, okay. 2.4 billion survivors trust to the over 80,000 men who say they were sexually abused while in the organization. Any surprises there? Huh? Now they've got Esau running around talking about, having minor attracted persons. That's a whole new wave now. The maps. That's a new gender now. Oh, see this? Minor attracted person, a neglected population. Oh, we can't leave them out. They're being neglected. See, these are the ones. Oh, I can't help who I love. A 13-year-old was publicly groomed publicly on Twitter and kidnapped. See, that's all, and they're trying to legalize that I think in Minnesota. I think is it. Look at this. So a new Minnesota bill might, and I'm going off script, y'all. I said I wasn't gonna be too long, but guess what? Y'all know how I do. So stay tuned. Continue ride with me. We're almost there. We're almost done. But the spirit just this is. You want to know how I come up with the information on DSTM? Sometimes it'd be like this. Stuff pop in, and actually, I'm going down the rabbit hole, or so I'll be remembering something. I gotta go look it up. Boom! I'll pull up the article. Let me share it with y'all. So look at it. So a new Minnesota bill might make minor attracted persons a sexual orientation. They might make it legal. The time has come. They're really doing it. They're really trying to normalize pedophilia. Lord have mercy. The Minnesota legislature is trying to modify the legal definition of sexual orientation. The proposed bill modifies existing Minnesota law that designates sexual orientation as a protected category, which means it is against the law for the state to discriminate based on sexual orientation. So it's going to be no different than you saying that you're gay, straight, bi, non-binary, whatever. Now your new sexual orientation is your map. You're a map. A minor attracted person. That's my sexual orientation. Not my. Let me clear that up for somebody. Take that and run with it. He said he's minor. No, saying that as an example, man. Somebody could say that that's what they're into. You understand? That's coming out of Minnesota. This must be right. Section 609.26. Depriving another of custodial or parental rights. Is that it? No. Yeah, I'm not gonna go no further on this. Okay. How about this? How about this? You ever heard of this? North American Man Boy Love Association? Huh? Oh, you haven't heard about this one, huh? Look what they're into. This was founded in 1978 by David Thorstad out of New York and San Francisco. What do they want to do? Remove the age of consent laws. This is a legitimate group that's around. The NAMBLA is a and advocacy organization in the United States. It works to abolish age of consent laws, criminalizing adult involvement with minors, and campaigns for the release of men who have been jailed for sexual contacts with minors that did not involve what it considers coercion. All right, you can look up this on your own, man. Do your own research about this. This is what goes on in this place. Now, mind you, I did the math on this, man. That's about 30 racks per person for the hell that they went through of being abused. Is 30 racks enough, man, for allowing a grown man to, grope, manipulate, and Lord knows whatever else with your son? Is 30 racks enough to pay it off? Think about it. I'm gonna leave that topic alone. I'm gonna keep it moving. Um, we've talked about it before. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know anything outside of what I'm doing, what I need to do or trying to do. Okay. Well, we've talked about the type of changes that go through financial structures all the time, and we see what's going on with the dollar. We see what's going on with the banks. We see what's going on with the glitches in the hacked accounts. That goes on, right? There's always a saying, man. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. If everything is digitized, everything is can be wiped away to push of a button. It can be restricted. They can withhold. They can limit. They could approve or not approve what you can and can't. But if you don't have one of the things that's been mentioned in the scriptures multiple times, gold and silver, you know, uh, you really don't have any real value or real worth because the dollar itself is basically monopoly money. It's what they call fiat currency, man. There's no value behind it, man. It's debt currency. When the U.S. needs more money, all they do is go get a loan from the Federal Reserve. They print it up on paper and say, "Go ahead on and use this." It's good it's good to pay off. If you look on your dollar bill, what's it gonna say? Now, see up here it says Federal Reserve notes, right? This is who prints the currency. This is who is in charge of printing it up out of thin air. It's nothing that backs it up. See, notice this. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. So you utilize this paper to satisfy any debts, public and private. But guess what? You're saying, well, what is this actually worth? Is it anything? No, it's not worth anything, man, because it's all based around and founded on debt, right? So you got the Federal Reserve notes, and what was it? Shoot, I'm trying to think. It was called before it had Federal Reserve note on it. It had y'all going on the journey with me. Uh, yeah, see right here. It used to say U.S. note, I believe, and then it changed to a Federal Reserve note. Yeah, see this? Notes of silver certificates. United States silver certificate. Well, that was a type of money printed in 1878 to 1964 as part of its paper currency. So it was backed up by silver, right? To 1964. They had U.S. state notes, publicly known as greenbacks. You never hear that before? Yeah, this is where you're gonna see it up here on the $5 bill. See up here, United States note. This is before they got involved with the bankers and they got in debt with the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the Fords and all of them that own all these banks. Before they got involved with them, the money said United States note, and it was backed by silver and gold. But then, if you notice now, they relinquished their currency. Oops, I don't want to go. Shoot. I don't want to go there. They relinquished the currency. Let me pop this up real quick. If you notice up here now, notice here it says Federal Reserve note. Remember, you used to say United States note. Now it's property of the Federal Reserve. So the dollar has gone through some changes. These two things right here have remained consistent. I think it was in Nixon is the one who took the U.S. dollar off of the gold standard, turned it into an inflationary note, man, and everything went to hell in the handbasket after that, man. The Saudi Arabians, man, said they ain't using it. It's not backed by the petrol no more, not by the oil. You need some substance, man, to back it up. To say that it actually has some value behind it. Otherwise, you can just say, hey, this is worth $1. I can give you $1 and say, no, that's actually $100. Who says? Do you got something that's going to actually substantiate it being worth that? If you don't, it's basically worthless. Long story short here, you start seeing that states and governments now, state and local governments are starting to say, hey, you know what? We can't trust the banks no more, man. We don't know what's going on with this Fednow system, blah, blah, blah. People are looking for different ways out of the current situation that's involving the economy. Now you got, I think there's like 5 or 7 states already right now who are looking at receiving and accepting silver and gold as legal tender. So you can go into a store item, pay a bill, whatever, with your coinage as opposed to your Digi this, Smart ID that, as opposed to these worthless notes that's eventually just going to be gone because the ultimate goal is to go cashless, right? That's part of the New World Order. So look at it. Now you got 23 states. 23 states moved to reclaim gold and silver as legal tender. So, I've humbly, because I ain't Scrooge McDuck swimming in coins, but I've looked into this and I'm going to just leave it at that. I've done what I've had to do, or tried to at least, and will continue. But now, because the demand is so high, I told y'all before, man, the spot that I was entertaining, getting some coinage from, they had to increase the legal, not the legal, increase the amounts that you had to buy because of the orders were so high and the demand was so crazy. They was understaffed. They was hiring. They was going wild stress. They send me email saying, look, customer service right now ain't the standard that we used to, but with these banks issues going on, people withdrawing their money, and then you get the big wigs, man, who got a lot of money that's withdrawing their money, and they buying gold and silver up in hordes. So the little guys like us, we trying to go get a couple coins here or there, that they hoarding and stuff. But the value of both has been going up because people are starting to invest more in tangible items. And now you got states saying, hey, we'll take that silver and gold, man. You hear people run around talking about, you can't eat silver, you can't eat gold. What? You ain't got to eat it. You got 23 states that's ready to move and say you can buy what you need to eat with this. Think about that. Just a little wisdom. Central banks loading up on gold in response to rising geopolitical tension. So the central banks are running around saying, we need to start hoarding gold. Look at China, look at Russia, look at who recently just got some India. They're all buying gold. And notice they're all trying to create the BRICS economy. And what are they going to be backing it up with? What are they going to set the standard on for their new economy and their attempts to establish a new coin or a new payment method for the world reserves? Now you got the central banks loading up on gold. Why are they loading up on this stuff? If they're telling everybody else it's worthless, man, don't worry about that. Stick with money, stick with credit. Meanwhile, they're over here hoarding this stuff. Remember what we said earlier: the righteous man considereth the house of the wicked. She needs to see what's he doing. I want in. Hey, when I seen the head of the FBI years ago, like 2015, talking about cover up he covers up, he puts tape on the cameras of his laptops and phones and all of that. I said, man, ain't that the devil? No, let me cover up mines. So I cover my camera phone and my laptop phone. Everything's covered. Microphones, try to turn them off. Who knows? But if anybody's seen Snowden, that he brought that out in that movie. So we see here central banks are out here loading up on gold because of the geopolitical tensions and the instability of the banks and the money system. And ultimately, they know that the bubble is going to burst and there's going to be a major crash that goes on in all markets and uh, real estate and everything else. And what's left to pick up the pieces, they're going to try to rise up with this whole new economy. And you're going to have some rebels that's going to say, you know what? I got these coins over here. I'm good on these right now. And you're going to have an economy saying, hey, we accept that over here. You don't have to, submit to the beast that way. But again, these are all temporary solutions, man. Scriptures let us know, man, we're going to be redeemed without money. But this is just wisdom and knowledge to keep us stable in these times. Like Isaiah 33 and 6 says, until the coming of our Lord and Savior. So, this ain't the heavens. This ain't, the end all be all. Like this is going to be heaven on earth. It's through manipulating what the white man's got out there. No, this is just try to help us get by until the ultimate final days when our Redeemer comes. All right, let's not get it twisted. Look, Zimbabwe did introduce gold-backed digital currency. So, Zimbabwe is already on board, right? Look at this. Zimbabwe's on board. European Central Bank, the Euro system, what are they up to? They're getting ready to set up the digital euro. We're working with national central banks of the euro area to investigate whether to introduce a digital euro. It would be a central bank digital currency, an electronic equivalent to cash, and it would complement bank notes and coins, giving people an additional choice about how to pay. Well, what's America got going on over here? See, everything is coming into play. While Europe is talking about the digital euro, America's talking about doing the Fednow service, which is equivalent to, basically the see, look at this. Everything is all big. You don't know about the mark? Here you go. The chip is up in there. And is in here. To things that people are already accustomed to using. But it's going to be highly regulated, tracked and traced. If you haven't submitted fully to the beast, be cut off. See, you can look this up. I've talked about it a little bit before, but this is just the system of them introducing America's digital system that they're going to introduce. Remember, I broke down talking about the digital ID, everything that's going to be involving that. It's going to be co-opted with this Fednow system, you know. But first, they're going to have to continually have an organized collapsing of the confidence of everybody in the current financial system as we see it now. So once people start realizing, hey, everything, all the glitters ain't gold, man. This ain't the America we used to know. Similar to what was going on back during the Roaring '20s, leading up into the Great Depression. Oh, we used to have United States notes. Oh, now they're Federal Reserve notes. Oh, we got to turn in our silver and our gold, and then they sell it back to us at a fraction of the cost. Oh, and now all of a sudden we're taking off the gold standards. Our gold ain't good no more. Now we're only subject to this money. Do the little history on the money system, and you'll understand where and how they're going to try to direct this thing again. It's the same thing going on right now. Everybody's already losing confidence in the banks. They're looking for a way out. It's called the Hegelian dialectic: problem reaction solution. A problem gets started, causing a reaction, and then the people that start the problem present a solution. So that all of a sudden now there's a controlled social engineered system that people buy into that are now caught in this web. So we see it in Europe and here in the West. There, America's going for the Fednow service. You can go on this, the Federal Reserve.gov, or just type in Fednow, do a little reading on what they're introducing. But basically, it's the same thing. They're trying to introduce, the new federal system where all your federal payments can come through digitally. Everything will be intertwined and interlocked. Oh, eventually, when it expands, you're going to get your little universal basic income coming through it, your EBT, everything's going to be systemized and through the Fed so that they can control, monitor, watch, regulate, turn on, turn off, reward you if you are a good little servant or not. Bill Gates had this lined up years ago. I'm not going to go into it, but he already had a system lined up. I'll bring it out another day. That all intertwines with this. It's all coming through the devices and everything else. You get rewards if you're a good little slave. If you're not, it's all part of the plan. So here they go. The digital euro was on deck. It's all based around, it's for convenience. Why we might need it? We're thinking about launching a central bank digital currency in Europe to respond to the increasing demand for safe and trusted electronic payment systems. It's all for your own good. They'll provide the safety for you. Having digital money issued by a central bank would provide an anchor of stability for the payment and monetary systems. A digital euro would also strengthen the monetary sovereignty of the euro area and foster competition and efficiency in the European payment sector. See that? Oh, here comes the new solutions. So now you got Zimbabwe, they got theirs lined up. Gold-backed digital currency at legal tender. Now, if you look at what happened with Zimbabwe, that whole economy crashed years ago. They dealt with hyperinflation and the whole nine. Now this is the restructure. See? The move is a government initiative to stabilize the local currency from continued depreciation against the US dollar. So just so that we're clear and we know why Zimbabwe is doing this now. Just look up about what happened with Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is similar to what's going on in Venezuela. Hyperinflation in Zimbabwe is an ongoing period of currency instability in Zimbabwe, which is causing Kagan's definition of hyperinflation began in February 2007. During the height of inflation from 2008 to 2009, it was difficult to measure Zimbabwe's hyperinflation because the government of Zimbabwe stopped filing official inflation statistics. It got so bad that they just stopped reporting it. In 2009, Zimbabwe stopped printing its currency, and currencies from other countries were used. In mid 2015, Zimbabwe announced plans to have completely switched to the United States dollar by the end of that year. Look at it. By March 2020, with inflation above 500% annually, Argentina is already over 100%. So when you look at this about the history of what went on in Zimbabwe, man, how they whole economy just completely collapsed. Now you're seeing what's happening: demonetization. You're hearing all of these words now about demonetizing the dollar. You know, so you see what happened to Zimbabwe, and now what are they being resurrected with? Gold-backed digital currency. So here's America going through a similar situation of inflation, hyperinflation. They be lying about what's going on. They just had a prank phone call that the president of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, got prank called, and he thought he was talking to President Zelensky, and they got to asking him about the economy. He was like, yeah, we're pretty much in a recession right now. We're gonna do the Fed hikes a couple more times, and then we're just gonna let everything drop after that and just leave it. Basically that's what he was saying. He thought he was speaking candidly. Now, prior to that, on record, he goes up there and says, "Oh, there might be a soft landing. No recession is in." Now he's off the record. Yeah, we're in a recession. It's already bad. We're gonna raise the rate hikes a couple more times, and then we're just gonna let it drop after that. So, lesson learned. Look at the history. Look what happens in other countries, man. You kind of see what's gonna happen over here if all goes according to historical patterns. First Republic tumbles after deposits plunge more than expected. Borrowers of $100 billion from the Fed. So now you're seeing First Republic Bank. People ain't depositing their money back up in them banks, man. So you start seeing. Look at this. A stock went from $125 to $12. So the confidence in the banks is leaving, man. People aren't depositing their money back into these banks. They don't trust the banks no more. Now you're seeing states are saying, hey, you know what? We're ready to push forward and say we'll accept silver and gold. You decide on what route you want to take in regards to the future of your finances. Because I don't have all the answers. I'm just looking to seeing what's going on and trying to diversify and figure it out too. But I'm trying to give y'all little gems. I'm looking in the house of the wicked, and what are they doing? I'm telling y'all, hey, they over there stacking up gold and silver, man. You better find something too. Let's move on. Almost 2,000 Southwest Airlines flights now delayed after system-wide computer glitch grounded the fleet and left frustrated passengers stuck at terminals and trapped on planes and tarmacs. This was a couple weeks ago. This was on April 18th. I just didn't get a chance to bring it out, but the fact remains, here we go again. More glitches, more issues at airports, right? But we heard about the cyber polygon and all of the system hacks that they was going to be planning to go down in 2023. Here they go again, messing around with the airports and flight delays. Okay. So the hacking is still going on as they're telling everybody we need to go digital. What you think they're going to do when everybody's on this digital standard? The back doors is going to be wide open, man. Could the U.S. face the same retirement riots that are plaguing France? Social Security's trust funds are predicted to be depleted by 2033. So they're saying that the Social Security trust funds that everybody is building their retirements, that the government is set up for retirement funds for everybody. They're saying in 10 years it could be gone. There may not be no Social Security left. And you notice throughout the years, man, from my knowledge, the establishment of Social Security is based upon the life expectancy age of individuals. And as they start seeing that people were living longer than expected and people were actually cashing in on this little government fund that was being set aside for you working for 60 plus years, they had to increase the ages. Let's see. See, I don't even have to go. Social Security retirement age increases in 2022. Look at this. While you can start Social Security payment at age 62, your monthly checks are reduced if you begin collecting benefits at this age. To claim your full benefit, you need to sign up for Social Security at your full retirement age, which varies by your birth year. An older Social Security will get a full retirement age. See how they play games? The full retirement age used to be 65 for those born in 1937 or earlier. Those born between 1943 and 54 have a retirement age of 66. Full retirement age increases in 2 months increments from 66 each year to 66 in 10 months for those born in 59. Look, the full retirement age of those who turn 62 in 2022, born in 1960, is 67. See how they keep changing the age. Look, you get less if you start early or more if you delay until later. So they're saying, well, if you hold on, if you try to get collected early, we'll pay you less. But if you hold off, we'll pay you more. They're counting that you die before they have to fully pay you out. Every month you delay Social Security up to age 70 gets you a higher payment, a monthly payment for life. So they want everybody to hold out until you 70 to get your full benefits of money that you worked hard for all your years of life. You understand? This is why France is going crazy over there, because they increased the age, I believe, 2 years for their Social Security, for their Social Security and retirement benefits. And people's like, hell no. We're entitled to our money right now. Pay us out full. You trying to tell us we got to work another 2 years or wait? So people is right, flipping out. And now the U.S. is saying, shoot, we got our own problems over here. We might not be able to pay nobody in 10 years. I mean, hell, they just approved their debt ceiling budget. And that was under protest. Just so that they can pay the bills. So you can see here. Protests have erupted in France amid proposals to raise its retirement age. U.S. has an aging population, and Social Security Trust Fund will run dry in 2023. By 2040, 20% of Americans will be older than 65 and up from around 16 now. So, they saying it's going to be up 20%. What is it? They ain't trying to pay that money out. So that would be a whole nother reason for rioting in hell. People ain't getting paid. Oh, look at this. WHO warns of a huge biological risk as Sudan fighters storm national laboratory holding samples of polio, cholera, and measles. So, we've been talking about the uprising and the military coup and war that's going on over there in the Sudan. They've got thousands of Americans over there. They trying to get up out of there. I think a couple have already been put to death in the midst of the war. They tried to have a 72-hour peace treaty or ceasefire. That didn't go down. We talked about that last week, like the scriptures say, man. When they shall say peace and safety, sudden destruction happen. That's what's going on over there. Now all of a sudden, oops, guess what? The threat of a biological outbreak now, because these Sudanese fighters now have gotten a hold of polio, cholera, and measles, they may turn it into biological weapons. I'm more of the opinion that they may sell it to the highest bidder. Hint, hint. WHO, NIH, all the alphabet groups, CDC, USA. Hello? Let's sell it to the highest bidder, man. Let them go ahead on and make something. I mean, what these Sudanese Africans, what they gonna do with it? They ain't got the technology. They ain't got the laboratories to go drum up anything. They'll take it, hold it hostage, and then say, look, we need money to help fund this war. Who wants some? And you know how Esau come up and slithers up and says, how much? I'll give you this and some weapons. How about that? Hand them over. If you don't hand them over, we'll just bomb on you niggas. That's how America rolls. Look at this, man. It's from my brother Shaq too. I'm gonna go ahead and post this one up here. Zechariah 11:5. Look at this. We read 4 and 5. Thus saith Yahweh, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So the heathen constantly taking advantage of our plight, of us being at odds with our Father for not being obedient to the commandments. But our possessors are slaying us and holding themselves not guilty. Look at this. Fired Louisville cop who shot dead Breonna Taylor is hired. No different than I believe the cop that shot Tamir Rice. He went and got another job. I've always said this, man. They go sit them on ice. They go through these bogus trials. They get suspended with pay after beating and maiming and sicking dogs on our people, man, and shooting and tasing and everything else. But you get suspended. You sitting at a desk job, man. You suspended with pay. Go on a vacation, man. Go have fun with the wife and kids, man. Come on back when the heat dies down and you back on the force. The other ones, man, they don't get arrested. You get fired. Don't worry, you're gonna get hired over in East Bubble F somewhere. Lay low and knock it off. Fired Louisville cop who shot dead Breonna Taylor is hired as a deputy in neighboring district and is already on active service after Kentucky voted not to remove his officer license. Mass protests are planned. I haven't seen them yet, but we'll see. The Carroll County Sheriff's Office confirmed the hiring of Miles Cosgrove. Taylor's death in 2020 sparked racial injustice protests around the country. Federal ballistics experts believe the shot that killed Taylor came from Cosgrove. Now, remember this. Y'all know what happened with Breonna Taylor. The damn bastards, man, stormed the house, the wrong house, shoots up her, and shooting at her husband. The husband returns fire. They arrest him. Try to charge him with attempted murder until they figured out, like, y'all raided the wrong house. Shot and killed a woman who was she was in the recruits or something. I forgot what her employment was. Well, I think she was a nurse. No, don't misquote me, but I don't want to say wrong. But I remember her taking pictures. She looked like she was in uniform. Yeah, coming in there talking about they had looking for drugs as usual, man. This was it over here. I don't know what she was involved in, but I forgot her occupation. But anyway, another sad affair, man, when, the damn heathen, man, these damn devils, man, sit back and gloat in the deaths of our people. And then they go back and just continue on business as usual, get hired in another spot to go raise more hell. Panic buying causes widespread gas station closures in South Florida. Florida was dealing with more flooding and rains and all of that last week. Uh, I didn't get a chance to bring this one out, but there was more panic buying, empty shelves. Matter of fact, man, I seen brothers and sent me pictures over there in Detroit. They got empty shelves going on over there, man. A lot of panic buying going on. People trying to stack up and get right, as best they can. But here you see, they had gas shortages, food panic buying, gas buying. They had to shut stations down in Florida. They ain't even talk about that, too heavy. More than half of the gas stations in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, in the Fort Lauderdale area were without gasoline Wednesday after flooding from last week's massive storm caused a wave of panic buying by drivers topping off their gas tanks. I would estimate that 80% of gas stations are closings are due to panic buying, said Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis for Gas Buddy, which tracks station closings and gas prices. A storm dumped 20 inches of rain in Fort Lauderdale in just one day last Wednesday, causing widespread flooding and some disruptions to operations at Port Everglades in that city, where a significant portion of gasoline for the region comes to a dozen different gas terminals. So just imagine that, man. You don't have gas, you can't get gas. Where are you gonna go? You got your bug out bag ready? That you ready to go hike to get to your nearest destination if need be? Uh, People's gonna be siphoning off gas. I mean, they was doing that, man, when they had the high gas issues out here in Cali. People was caught stealing gas, siphoning gas from people's cars. And that's just the beginning. All it takes is one storm, man, shuts down the gas, and you ain't going nowhere. Especially here in Cali, man, you get earthquakes and your whole crib gets smashed in, whatever the place. You trying to get up out of there and you ain't got enough gas to go somewhere. If at all possible, Israel, man, keep your gas above half a tank, or always try to keep some gas on hand, because you never know. I know my people, man. We love rolling around, man. You can tell, a Jacob road with the damn light flashing saying you need gas, and you be rolling for miles. Jay, you might be like, hey, you need gas, man. You no, I know, I can make it. I can make it. We good. We good. You like, man, this thing about to conk out, man. No, I know my car. Jacob roll until the wheels fall off, man, and know that tank. Pull right up to the end all be all spot and be like, see, I told you, man, we was good. I got just enough, man, to get, the gas station's right around the corner, man. When we leave up, we'll get a little more gas. Jake throw another $3 in there and get to another destination. Hey, listen, we gotta break them habits, Israel. If you can, man, keep some gas in your car, because you never know. When some panic buying going on, man, or you can't get to you can't, emergency goes down and you can't make it to where your destination or whatever the case may be. You don't want to be caught out there unprepared. Alphabet CEO's pay soars $226 million on the huge stock award. In other words, man, the rich get richer. The pay package awarded the Alphabet Inc. Chief Executive Officer Sundar Pichai soared to $226 million in 2022, boosted by a triennial stock grant, making him one of the world's highest paid corporate leaders. This guy's the one, he runs Google. Well, all his other, affiliates like Facebook and everybody else is laying off. The rich get richer. The stock award portion of his pay amounted to $218 million, according to a filing from the Google parent company Friday. He received a total of $6.3 million in compensation in 2021, when he didn't receive the grant, and his salary remained at $2 million the past 3 years. So this is the corporate games they play, man. While they collapse and crash everything else, and the stock market's all on red, they cashing in, getting off stock rewards, living lavishly, man. Baltimore's, they following suit with Chicago. They following suit with LA. All the youth running around, man, just completely wilding out in these cities, man. Organized chaos. Entire downtown is effectively dead. Baltimore City descends further into turmoil. Downtown Baltimore is plagued with shootings, carjackings, muggings, and out of control packs of teenagers are wreaking havoc. Baltimore residents can thank 5 decades of Democrat politicians for mismanaging this once thriving town. So join the club, man. Join the club. You know, they're allowing these little young monsters, man, to run around here and act a damn fool. You know, Second Ezra's 5 talks about um, uh, women giving birth to menstruous women giving birth to monsters. You know, Isaiah said that children are our oppressors. Jeremiah said you got the young men are like bulls in the streets, hanging on the corners in the streets. They out there wilding out, man. And then you got the mayor of Chicago. Y'all seen last week, the big head woman. You know, as Ashar says, the inchworm, and she says, "Hey, the youth have every right to enjoy the city." Oh, but they got to do it more safer though. This is the type of madness, man, that they are ready to unleash in the cities. So imagine when it's really about gas and food, water, medical supply, necessities of life, man. When everything is shut down, everything is co-opted to where you don't qualify for that Fednow payment, you don't qualify for any more EBT or whatever the case. All hell's gonna break loose. So they're gonna let all the little gremlins, man, get loose like it's midnight, man. They're gonna let them go wild. All right, look at it. Grass-fed beef burgers recalled over possible rubber pieces. Or even when they tell you, "Oh man, I don't need grass-fed only," they tamper with everything, man. Do you understand? Everything is getting compromised. That's why Yahweh Shah said we're gonna eat and drink poison and live. Because at the end of the day, that's all we got left, man. Uh, Here's a mark. Um, mm, 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 mm. Hold on one second. Yeah. I thought it was in my hold on. If I can't find it off the top of my head, I'm gonna try to search it. I want to make sure. I could have sworn it was in Mark. I'm quoting it, but then I'm like, I got to show that one. Because when we looking at that article, man, you talking about the grass fed people, we be thinking, oh, I'm eating the best. If I'm gonna eat beef, man, I'm gonna eat the best that I can. And before you know it, here they are talking about it's a recall on that because it's rubber pieces in it. I mean, is anything safe anymore? This is why Yahweh Shah said, man, the time got to be cut short for the elect's sake, unless no flesh will be saved. I mean, this bastard is ran rampant in complete corruption, man, and irresponsible. Uh, Dang, I could have sworn that was it. I don't need 330. Dang, I gotta remember that one, man. Yeah, I can't think of it off the top, and then for some reason it's not popping up either. I'm about to go check my Bible. I'm going to double back on that one, man. I don't want to waste too much more time trying to find that scripture. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna double back and redeem myself because I just can't remember off the top of my head right now. But it's here somewhere. Mm, all right, you know what? See ya. There you go. Mark 16:18. I knew I wasn't tripping. I knew it was in Mark. I didn't see it. Okay. So Mark 16:18. It says, they shall take up servant. Now, this is even dealing with those that are redeemed through the baptism of the word, washing of the water, being washed by the water, purified by the water, which is the word. John 17:17 tells us that as well. Let's just read that one real quick. We'll talk about the baptism on another day. This ain't about the baptism, but water isn't going to cleanse us, man. We get sanctified through the truth. The word is the truth. John 17:17 says, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. So sanctification, cleansing comes through the truth, and the word is the truth. Okay. Uh, John 15:3 says, now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. It says the word is truth, right? Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth, right? And he said, now we become clean through the truth. Thy righteousness is the everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So our cleansing and our sanctification, the true baptism of repentance, is us being cleansed through the law. That's just very minor. I don't want to go heavy into it, but just a couple of precepts just to explain my perspective, our perspective and understanding of the scriptures. After we receive those things, right, and the Holy Spirit descends upon us, it says what? They shall take up servants, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. So, this is one of the aspects that Yahweh Shah says is when we're moving in the Holy Spirit, man, and we're being redeemed through the Spirit of Yahweh Shah, moving in righteousness, the cleansing of being washed by the word, keeping the laws and the commandments to the best of our ability in the faith of Yahweh Shah. He said, even if we consume any deadly thing, it's not going to hurt us. So as much as we're trying to maintain a cleanly diet in this place of wickedness, man, and the madness that goes on here, and as much as our enemies are out there trying to poison and distort and disfigure our bodies, we're going to remain unharmed, man, because we're living in the faith of Yahweh Shai. Grass-fed burgers, recall possible over rubber pieces in it, man. Unbelievable. More layoffs. 3M is a manufacturing, one of the bigger manufacturers in the U.S., man. They're laying off. They said manufacturing is slowing down. So, I mean, whatever America was left manufacturing, everything else, pretty much everything manufacture-wise is being imported from various countries, from Pakistan to China to Taiwan to India to Mexico. You name it. Cars is coming in. All the foreign cars, everything's coming. America barely got manufacturing going on as it is. And what they do have left in manufacturing, one of the bigger companies, 3M, they're laying off. Layoffs loom in the manufacturing sector. Look at this. The family that starved itself to death to meet Jesus. Parents and their 3 children are found at one forest grave as Kenyan starvation death toll reaches 73. Remember, even Yahweh Shah said, as many shall come in my name, saying I'm Christ. There's another quote saying they're the true way to Christ, man. You want to follow after them, you're gonna have to go through. I think they had it was some preacher, man. He tried to do a 40-day fast, killed himself. These Africans, man, they don't know what the hell is going on. Cult leaders, man, saying they had to start themselves if they want to meet Yahweh Shai. And you know, in their mind, they trying to find Caesar Borgia. They want to find the imposter. Then kill themselves over that, man. Is California about to be hit by a major earthquake? Study finds LA has suffered 1,200 microquakes in the past 8 months, putting area at a risk of a bigger tremor. So we've heard about the big one. And we just read a couple weeks ago about 9.0s predicted for up north in the Washington State and Portland area. Now they're down here saying, remember they found the secret. Discovered a fault line off of the Pacific coast. Now they're talking about 1,200 microquakes been rumbling for the past 8 months. Will one of them trigger the fault lines to cause a seismic wave to hit us, man? I ain't looking forward to it, but we know, California is way overdue for a big one. I ain't looking forward to it. I'm not talking it up. Believe you me. But the fact remains, man, the Most High said it's going to be earthquakes in diverse places. Earthquakes is part of the prophecies of judgment, man. So take this for what it's worth, man. Hopefully you're prepping and getting yourself prepared as best as you can. We can in the event that we get hit with something that causes our lives to change drastically. 7.4 earthquake hits on Indonesia. That was just on Monday. Things are still rocking and rolling, y'all. Still rocking and rolling. So as you can see, always some stuff going on. Always some stuff going on. Your brother's gonna bring it to you. Your brother's gonna bring it to you, right? All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh Shai, man. I said I wasn't gonna be long. Look at this, man. We over 2 hours, but that's how the spirit rolls. That's how the spirit rolls, man. Hopefully, y'all get some understanding, get some edification out today. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh Shai, man. Always fear the Lord, keep the commandments, and don't shoot your messenger. Shalom.